Hello everyone and welcome to issue 10 of SL Aviation magazine. I've had a little time away from SL to catch up on my first life, and I'm back and ready to report on the happenings around the SL Aviation community. This week I have an interview with Zack Burton, the creator of the SL Aviation grid maps and a very useful website. We will also be taking a look at the world's first helicopter designed specifically as a battlefield attack helicopter, the AH-1G Cobra. We have an exciting show planned for you, so let's get started. I'm here at my airport with Zack Burton, the creator of the grid maps that so many of us have found useful in Second Life Aviation. And Zack, how are you doing today?
I am very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing great, Zack, and love your work, and the maps are beautiful, and they're such a great benefit, and as well as your website. I've learned so much by just looking at your website and learning about the continents and all the airports and things. That was one thing that was really a learning, just learning the layout of the continents and everything. Uh, so tell us about yourself. How long have you been in Second Life?
I have been in Second Life for 6.5 years.
And how'd you get interested in Second Life Aviation?
Originally, I started with traveling road networks on the regional mainland continent, Samsara. And by traveling roads, I eventually found airports and had the opportunity to get little basic airplanes using the original flight script and fly from airport to airport.
Mm-hmm.
And that is where I discovered I enjoyed it.
Yes. Yeah. And I think that's true for a lot of us. We started out doing something different and then all of a sudden discovered aviation. So, besides map making, is there any other aviation activities that you do?
I like to go on grid flights, nothing terribly structured. Just go to a busy airport like New Horizons or Hollywood and find a couple of pilots who are willing to go with me, and we just fly 4 or 5 different airports in a row.
Mm-hmm. How'd you get started in making airport maps?
It was accidental, actually. Originally, to keep track of the locations of airports, I would create note cards with some basic airport information on them. And then I would use those to fly from location to location. And one day a group of us were standing at an airport. I think it was Swallowtail in the Black Sea.
Mm-hmm.
And I raised the cube and put a texture of the grid on it. And I put markers at all of the different airports that I had visited so far. And the other pilots there said that that was a very interesting idea. So I developed it from there. And I began to locate other airports, put markers on them. And eventually I started putting the note cards inside of the markers themselves.
So, is there, say for example, I've got a new airport and I want you to put it on the map, then I can just send you a note card with the information, and what information do you require?
You can contact me in any way. Some people just send me a landmark and say, I have a new airport, can you please look at it?
Okay.
Some do create a note card with more information. If they want specific instructions or rules or things like that, they usually make a note card. Or you can submit information through the website.
What all is there? What information can I find there, and how can it be helpful to grid flyers?
Only recently I've started adding news. There is a news page there. And I've begun to add grid flight information. The address, grid flights are posted there every week. On each individual page, you can find out information about each continent on Second Life, which continents are connected to each other, the locations of airports on the specific continents, they are all marked. And then when you read the airport page, it gives you information about activities and facilities there. It also has specific coordinates for the end of the arrival runway and its proper elevation, and the specific coordinates of the departure runway.
Very good. So, as far as using the map for seasoned flyers and newbies, as I guess maybe the best thing to do here would be to just I'll click on the map here and get the information and see what we've got. I had to start my UI, and so if I click on the map, then it sends me to your website. Is that correct?
Yes, it should direct you to the homepage of the website.
Yeah. Okay. And originally you had where when we clicked on the map, on the pin on the map, then it gave us a note card, and that became,
yes, each airport had its own note card.
Yeah, and so you you had a lot of note cards in those maps, I remember. But I mean, it was pretty handy. But then again, it got, as you said, if you were going on a long grid flight and had a lot of airports to stop at, it got a little cumbersome having all those note cards open.
The original map also caused a lot of lag. It had individual scripts in every pin, so it dragged sim resources down.
Okay. So very good, and again, this is a great work, and it has really helped the aviation community. I know I've used it a lot myself. Is there anything else that you would like to add or tell the aviation community about your work or flying in general?
No, I'm just like to say that I'm glad that the airport map has existed as long as it has, and that I'm glad that people are finding it useful. I know that I still enjoy using it, and I still enjoy creating it, updating it, and that is really what gives me enjoyment out of this process.
Well, good. Well, thank you, Zach, and for this labor of love and this great tool that you've given us, and I hope to see you again soon.
Thank you.
Okay. Remember, if you have an airport that's not listed on the map, or know somebody that has an airport that's not listed, contact Zach and he'll be sure to get you on the map and on the website. Very good work there, and very useful tool for all you grid flyers out there. So now let's catch up with my buddy Cy at the Vietnam Sims, and we're going to talk about the AH-1G Cobra, the development of the attack helicopter in Vietnam. Okay, I'm here at the Vietnam Sims with my buddy Cy, and we're going to talk about the Cobra helicopter. How's it going, Cy?
That's going really good today, Luke. Thanks for coming by.
Hey, great. Yeah, so let's talk about this Cobra. I know you've had a lot of experience with them here in SL and also in real life, so just talk about how was this developed, and how did it actually come about?
Well, in real life, when the U.S. entered Vietnam with the Huey helicopter, and they tried to make a gunship out of the standard Huey transport ship, they saw a need for a straight helicopter weapons platform only. And that's how the Cobra came about, being developed solely as a weapons platform with the tandem seating arrangement and weapons systems only, and that began in '65. In '67, it was deployed in Vietnam as combat ready and operational, and was, as production continued, more units began receiving the Cobra gunship to replace the Huey gunships. A Cobra at that time could carry high explosive firepower equivalent to a battery of 105 howitzers. And that was advantageous because many times the Cobras would be out supporting ground troops that were out of range of 105 batteries or 155 batteries. And so that's where the great advantage of having a Cobra on station came into being. But as far as the Cobra itself, they had the standard configuration of rocket pods on the outboard wing stubs, a choice of a 20mm cannon on the left side wing stub, and a minigun canister on the right side wing stub, with the chin turret having a standard configuration of a minigun on the right side and a 40mm grenade launcher on the left side. And that chin turret was operated by the front seat pilot, also known as the gunner. The rockets were operated by the pilot in the rear seat. But as time went on, many of the units that had Cobras created many variants depending on their daily use. While the standard configuration we see here, this Cobra made by the Vortex Corporation, which in SL flies very well, by the way. Most units had the standard configuration, but some units that were involved with bunker busting, bridges, vehicles, they would have 4 rocket pods and maybe 2 grenade launchers or 2 miniguns. And they were often referred to as a heavy hog because they had an enormous amount of rocket firepower. Rockets, they were all unguided 2.75-inch folding fin aerial rockets. At that time, with the technology that we didn't have, that was the best we had. And the pilots I knew in real life who flew these gunships, they were extremely accurate. They had a sighting station, but most chose to not use the sighting station. Quite often, they just paint little X's on their canopy with a grease marker. And they'd go into their standard dive, and depending on range, that was their sighting station. Sounds a little humorous today, but it worked very well back then.
Wow. Yeah, that's really interesting. I didn't know that. So I wondered how they got, aimed them anyway, because they didn't have computers.
No,
have a guidance
there
system.
was no, there was no computerized systems. There was no guidance systems. It was a lot of skill and bravery. I will leave that alone. We had other terms, but bravery. A lot of skill and a lot of bravery. Because they would go head into the enemy. They would not avoid them. They would not stand back. They would go into them, get up close and personal with the enemy. And they were very good at that.
For here on your sims, your insistence on detail and trying to make the vehicles and weapons and things accurate, is very commendable, and that's why I like it here, a lot, because it is a place that you can come here and learn about history. So, talk a little bit about how you've helped some of the builders develop these and things like that.
Well, many of the builders in here, and there's a great many of them, and they're very good, but the Vietnam era has quite often been overlooked in SL, and there's not a lot of people around that have hands-on knowledge and experience with Vietnam aircraft, not just the Cobra, but the Huey, the Chinook, the Marine Corps Sea Knight. All they have to go on is some YouTube videos and some internet information. And for the most part, they do a pretty good job, but sometimes having somebody who actually been around them is a great help to them, and it clears up a lot of misconceptions. And the largest one being, as far as this Cobra is concerned, is that in Vietnam, the Cobra did not have tow missiles. In SL, it seems everybody, or a great number of people, think that any Cobra was used in Vietnam and had tow missiles, and that's a very big that's one of the biggest misconceptions in SL. as far as the Cobra helicopter goes. Because even though the Army discontinued using Cobras in real life and went to the Apache helicopter, the Apache gunship, the U.S. Marine Corps today still uses the AH-1 Cobra, but is now up to the AH-1Z Viper Super Cobra. And the AH-1Z came into combat ready service in 2010. But all Cobras got their start in 1967 in Vietnam with the AH-1G. After Vietnam, they had the AH-1E, F, S, T, W, and now Z. So it's been an extremely versatile machine. They still continually upgrade it. It has all the modern technology. It is an awesome weapons platform that, well, to be perfectly honest, I still wish the Army would never have gotten rid of. But such is life. I don't run the Army, so that's not my choice.
Yeah.
But I'm still glad to see that the Cobra is still in service with our forces.
Yeah, I mean, think about that. The basic platform was designed in 1965, so 50 years.
And the Cobra today that the U.S. Marine Corps uses is still strong, still awesome, still deadly, and still feared by everybody else on the ground that's not on their side.
Okay, anything else we need to say about it?
That's a brief nutshell history of the Cobra without going into detail. It just eats time up and becomes boring.
Okay.
The Cobra we have here, it's a good one. There's a couple more out there. They're good. And we have fun with them over here in the little Vietnam sims.
Yes, we do. And you're going to be seeing more of these in our upcoming segments of the Vietnam War movie, so stay tuned.
We'll do that, Luke.
Okay.
Thanks for coming by.
Thanks. I have something a bit different to close out the show for you today. The song you're about to hear is called The Gabber Robots, which was played by the Laziest Men on Mars band. It's a remix of music from a very bad video game called Zero Wing. The voiceover is from the actual text of the game, but was not in the game. It was added for the remix of the music. All your base are belong to us is the poorly translated phrase that caused the video to become so popular. The song and the resulting flash video became an internet phenomena, with the video becoming one of the first to go viral. I share it with you today in hopes that someday one of my videos will go viral. With that, I say so long and blue skies, and I'll see you in issue 11.
What happened? Someone set up us the bomb. We get signal. What? Main screen turn on. It's you.
How are you, gentlemen? All your base are belong to us. You are on the way to destruction.
What you say?
You have no chance to survive, mate, your time. Ha ha ha.